and welcome to another episode of Get Rich or Die Cleaning. Sadly, this is the final episode of Get Rich or Die Cleaning, which is, of course, your ultimate guide to becoming wealthy, healthy, and successful. Now, it's probably for the best that this is our last episode, as you know, for those of you who have been following us, may have seen in the papers and on the news and things. Our regular guest, Blake Gaston Sanchez, has in fact been sentenced to a 5-year sentence for fraud and tax evasion. Partly my fault for broadcasting what was tantamount to an admission of guilt from Blake. So his defence was quite difficult due to my carelessness, and I apologise. It's a real shame, as this is going to make it hard for us to finish the programme. However, Blake is a professional, a consummate pro, and he's promised to phone us about this time. So he told me that one of his cellmates has smuggled him in a mobile phone into the prison in his rectum. So yeah, he should be calling us any minute. No, there's the phone. He just answer that. Hello?
Hi, Pete. I'm calling you from jail.
Yeah, thanks, Blake. So, let's get started, I suppose. I'm sure you haven't got long.
No, I haven't. There's a goddamn queue of burly fucking convicts behind me, all eyeing up my asshole. So, no, I don't have a lot of time.
That sounds pretty grim. What's it like in prison?
It's a fucking nightmare. What do you expect? I can't get in the pool. I can't get any of the things that I like. I can't drink caffeine shampoo, so it's making me real goddamn cranky. And it's all your fault I'm in here in the first place. If we didn't have this contract, I wouldn't even be on this goddamn show with you. But I'm a giver. This is what I kept telling everyone in my court case. And when I got to prison, I said, I'm a giver, like to a lot of the other convicts, and they said, "Believe me, little man, in here you're not going to be a giver. You're going to be a receiver, big time." Man, I can't even sit down right now. These guys have just been tearing my asshole to pieces. Some of these guys got real big cocks.
That sounds awful. I mean, I'd always heard rumours about sort of rape and things going on in American jails. I just assumed, that was it. That was a rumour.
Well, it's not. It's pretty goddamn serious. If you're like me, you kind of spry, looked after your skin, drunk caffeine shampoo for your health. To them, you look like a hot bitch. And that's pretty much what I am now. Because my asshole's red hot. And I'm definitely someone's bitch.
I thought you were supposed to hit the biggest guy. First day you get in, you just punch the biggest man in the face, and then you won't be anyone's bitch.
Well, there were fists involved, that's for sure. On my first day, no one ever told me that before. But as I said, there was a fist, but it was inserted into my ass.
I'm really sorry, Blake. I can't help feeling in some way responsible for your incarceration.
In some way? You're the goddamn reason I'm in here, you stupid asshole. Don't know. Let's just get on with this.
All right, well, I was putting this off because I know you've probably got a bit sick of going through the...
Are you going to ask me about the fucking 6 steps again? Who starts a self-help program on the final step? If they don't know the 6 steps, getting rich by now, then they're beyond help.
Well, it's kind of the format, so if you wouldn't mind, just going through your ladder again, Blake.
Fine. So, here's the 6 steps on the ladder to not having to clean. You start at step 0, which is where most of you probably still are, because this program has been consistently undermined by the federal government and the rank incompetence of the host. So you start at step 0 And that's cleaning your own house, which I bet most of you are still doing. That sucks. So we want to get up the ladder to step 1, which is being a professional cleaner. Get paid for all of the work that you do. Then, once you're at that level, you move up to step 2, which is ordering a cleaner about. You no longer have to get your hands dirty. And that's where you want to be, because you don't want to be cleaning. So get out of cleaning as quickly as you can. And then you can move up to step 3, which is where you can begin to ignore domestic staff. Ignore them, just almost pretend they don't exist. But you're not quite there until you move on to step 4, which is when you begin to become only vaguely aware that cleaners even exist. You don't see them day to day, but you don't think things get cleaned by magic. You still know they're in the house until you reach the final step of the program, step 5, which is where you completely forget about anyone in the world that is not a rich, successful millionaire like yourself. And if you have been taking my advice, you should now be getting ready for that step. You're in the big house, you don't see the cleaner, you don't see your office get cleaned, you don't see your car get detailed, you don't see the gardeners making your backyard look beautiful. You don't see those people anymore. You should be beginning to forget that they exist. Do you think you're at that step yet, Pete?
I'm going to be totally honest with you, Blake. I haven't really done anything on this ladder yet. This was more, for the benefit of the listeners, more than for my personal benefit, because you've said this before. I just don't really have the mindset for the program. I feel a bit like I quite enjoy living in a world where I understand how things are done.
Well, that explains a lot, because you sure as shit can't edit a podcast, because when you do, well, for starters, I can usually hear myself fucking breathing like I'm having an asthma attack, and you can always hear how goddamn wet my mouth is. I'm pretty self-conscious about that, and you never cut it out.
Well, I think that's probably because my mouth's pretty wet as well, Blake. I usually have a drink while I'm doing this, so there's usually a lot of fluid slopping around in there, and I like it to sound real. So I don't edit out like me swallowing saliva and breathing and things like that. I'm not a machine. That's how I operate.
Well, you're beyond help. You're fucking useless.
So do you think you're still at step 5 now that you're in jail?
Well, it's quite hard not to clean in jail. Because on the first day, one of the guards said, "Prisoner Sanchez, mop this corridor." And I said, "There's no goddamn way I'm mopping that hallway, because I am Blake Gaston Sanchez, master of Get Rich or Die Cleaning, and I do not clean." He said, "Mr. Sanchez, you have 5 seconds to take this mop and mop this hallway, or I'm going to shove this nightstick up your ass." And I protested and I resisted. However, yeah, that nightstick went right up my ass. And let me tell you, I mean, that after a few hours inside, after my first shower that morning, I mean that thing didn't even touch the sides.
Jesus. So you're no longer on the program, really?
Well, I've already completed the program. I mean, step 5, it's more a state of mind. I mean, I know how my hallway and my cell are cleaned, because I have to do that. My cellmate doesn't help, because he's usually exhausted from fucking me. So I have to do a lot of it. But, I still keep the program in my mind. I walk around the prison and go, "God, this place is real clean." And I just block out that all the prisoners are doing it. And I treat the prison like I own it, like it's my own home. And all the people around me are like my employees. Yeah, they don't like me doing that. Yeah, I get punched a lot. A lot of them kind of go, "Hey, asshole, you think you're better than me?" And then they punch me in the face. Especially when I reply, "You're goddamn right, I'm better than you. Because you're a convict, and I'm Blake Gaston Sanchez." And that has led to a lot of violence, and a lot of rape.
Well, I mean, you've helped our listeners to reach level 5 now, so we should have all forgotten that cleaners exist. What other advice can you offer once we're at step 5?
Well, I've been mulling it over, and I've been thinking maybe when you get to step 5, you should write down, don't fully forget the cleaners. Because sometimes, if you lose sight of the other people in the world after becoming rich, you forget sometimes that the actions you take only to benefit you personally will have lasting effects on the wider world. And wealth gives you power, and with power, as they say in Spider-Man, comes great responsibility. When you have the power to make change in the world, you should go out of your way to make change, positive change. Not, think of ways to fuck people over just so you can get more money. Because, that doesn't benefit anyone. It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit the people around you. It doesn't benefit the world you live in. If you're rich, you're still part of the world. You're still part of society. So, if you're rich, if you're a billionaire, millionaire, whatever, as all you guys should be right now, maybe sometimes take a look around and think, what am I doing with my money to make the world a better place? Because if you just think about number one a lot of the time, you're going to lose sight of what's important. You're going to end up in a jail cell, or at worst, a jail cell you create yourself. Just going to be rattling around some massive, huge, empty mansion with some trophy bimbo, maybe a couple of kids you never see because you don't take the time out of your life to actually get to know them and look after them. There's a lot more in this world, a lot more important things than gathering objects, cash, money. I wish I'd known that before I ended up in here getting my asshole destroyed by massive convicts.
Do you think specifically the brutal ass rapings of what led to this revelation? Because I've got to say, what you just said is probably the first thing I've ever agreed with.
Well, yeah, I mean, taking a real pounding off some, gigantic bank robber will certainly put things in perspective. Because I remember last time we spoke, like face to face or over Skype, I was saying stuff like, they can't catch me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm rich. Because that's not true. You can't just do whatever you like. Because eventually someone's gonna fuck you right in the ass if you do that.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for imparting that advice to the listeners, Blake. If you are rich, absolutely, you have a responsibility to use your wealth for good and not for evil, or for your own selfishness. Use that money, make the world a better place, even if that means having to part with some of that money. Send me money. That's what I'm saying, basically. Patreon, send me it. Anyway, only joking. So to wrap up, Blake, we've got some celebrities who've sent us questions in. I've been in touch with some other millionaires.
Other millionaires, sweet. I love millionaires.
I know you love millionaires. So the first question, let me just get them up here. Donald Trump, President of the United States, who I believe you used to live next door to before he was president.
Oh, shit, yeah. That guy was a neighbor from hell. He dumped like an old refrigerator, a sofa, in his front garden and just refused to move them. I mean, what the fuck does that guy want?
Well, he wants to know if you can give him his hedge trimmer back, which you borrowed from him.
What? No way, man. I don't know where that shit is anymore. That guy's a billionaire. He's a fucking president. Buy another one, asshole. This wall he wants to build along the border between Mexico and the U.S., it's bullshit. I've got plans to build a grassy knoll outside the White House. Fill it with Big Macs to entice that fucker onto it, and blast him away, Lee Harvey Oswald style.
Strong words there, Blake. I remember you used to quite like Trump.
Oh, fuck that guy. ISIS should fly a drone into his comb-over.
Wow. Anyway, moving on. I've got another question for you. This one's from Lord Sugar, Sir Alan Sugar.
Oh, God, another asshole.
Well, he says he wants you to tell the story of why he fired you from the Apprentice TV show in the UK. So what happened on The Apprentice?
Oh, well, I was all set to be the winner, obviously, because I'm a great businessman. But I just found the whole program so fucking dull, man. I came up with this great idea to spice up the final task, to decide the winner. But Sugar's like, oh no, I don't like that.
Can you tell us about the idea?
Well, sure. During the final round of The Apprentice, instead of setting like a boring task, I suggested the finalists play a game of soggy biscuit on the boardroom table. You ever heard of that game?
Yeah, I was in the military. Maybe for those of us who don't know, maybe tell us.
Well, soggy biscuit's real simple. You get like a biscuit or a piece of bread, and guys get in a circle, and they jerk off, and the last one to nut all over like the biscuit or the bread has to eat it. So I said, whoever comes on a biscuit last gets fired, and they have to eat the biscuit. Because I'm real good at jerking off. So I was like, I've got this nailed. I am going to win this fucker. Sugar, though, he was not keen. And he fired me.
I'm at a loss for words, really, Blake. Yeah, I can see why he fired you.
He hated that idea. Such a negative asshole. He was like, "You're fired," like that. You're fired. Such a dick.
Did you have to eat the biscuit?
Yeah. Weirdly enough, it tasted real sweet, like sugar.
Okay. Blake, just time for one more quick question. This one's probably not as well known to you, but I believe she was rich at some point. It's Kerry Katona.
Who the fuck is Kerry Katona? I have no idea who Kerry Katona is.
It isn't time to explain. You could Google her if you weren't in prison. She was in Atomic Kitten, I think. She got big tits. Yeah, a bit like Jordan, but rubbish. Anyway, she says, will you marry her?
Dude, why are you laughing? I've been known to make women shit themselves with desire. Absolutely, mess their fucking pants. So, yeah, I'm guessing she's been listening to the podcast, or she's seen a picture of old Blake out there, and she's just flipping her fucking bean day and night. Yeah, fuck it, I'm in prison, I'll marry the bitch. I get conjugal visits here. Yeah, sure, right back. Go, hey, Kerry, Blake wants a piece of that ass.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to say to that, really.
I just brought up a naked photo of her that someone had from their ass phone. Wow, she's okay. Call me, Kerry, let's talk. You could be the new face of my billion-dollar empire. In your face, sugar. Do you have Kerry Katona up on your dick? Fuck no. Fuck you, Alan Sugar.
Well, on that note, on that bombshell, I guess it's probably time to say goodbye, Blake. It's been an experience, that's for sure. Have I enjoyed it? Hard to say. You've been an interesting guest, though, and I hope that you are released early from your prison sentence so you can go into the world of your new mantra. And I hope you and Kerry Katona are very happy together.
Oh, we'll be fucking happy, that's for sure. Because, Pete, are you going to edit this out if I say something else that I shouldn't say?
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay, I've still got like a fuck ton of that money that I stole. It's like hidden in Switzerland. So when I get out of here, me and Carrie, we're gonna live a happy life together. And I hear she may have had some from this Googling I've just done on the asphalt. I've noticed she's had some financial problems. Well, those are gonna be over. Me and Carrie are gonna live a happy life together. And yeah. So don't fucking broadcast that I still have that money, okay? Because I'm not supposed to have it. It's supposed to have been seized by the IRS. Like, I really need you to cut this out of the podcast. So do that, okay? I can't let them find out about my stolen money. Because I'm going to use that money for good. For good. I'm going to make myself richer. And that's got to be a good thing for everyone.
Yeah, alright, anyway, Blake, I'll cut that out.
Just leave that bit in where I said that I was going to be more responsible with my money and be a better person. Leave that in. Cut this shit out, okay? I can't stress enough. Cut out the bit where I tell you where I hid my money.
Yeah, I'll cut it out. God, it's not hard, you know. Just use GarageBand. Piece of piss. I'll definitely cut this out, okay? I mean, unless the running time's struggling to get to half an hour, then I'll have to leave it in.
No, you fucking idiot. You can't leave that in, okay? Do not leave it in. If this episode comes up short, fuck it. Who cares? How many people even listen to this?
Not many. But still, yeah, alright, I'll cut it out, I promise. I swear to God I'll cut it out, okay? Or I'll just redact it a bit.
Okay, whatever. God, fuck. You better fucking cut this out.
I will, I promise. I promise I'll cut it out. Anyway, thanks, Blake. You've been a great guest. You better go now, because I'm guessing there's probably quite a lot of angry people in that queue behind you, because I've kept you here for 20 minutes.
Yeah, they look pretty pissed. Yeah, my asshole's getting destroyed.
All right, thanks, Blake. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there he goes. A sad tale there for Blake. But as he said, if you don't take responsibility for yourself and for your actions as a rich person, then you're going to land yourself in a sticky situation like Blake did. So very important you don't act the goat as a rich person. And that, as I said, was the final episode of Get Rich or Die Cleaning. Thanks very much for listening. As I said, we're last in the current series. All of these episodes and our other comedies will soon be available on a central website, along with our other podcasts, and a host of new shows to come. Some on video, some are solely audio, but there's a lot of new content coming. So don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Doesn't cost you anything, but it's a real big help to us. And get us up those charts. Hopefully we can start making some sweet moolah, just like Blake. So make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. We're at Pete and Fran Pod. And that'll keep you up to date on all our new projects and things we're doing in the future. Yeah, that's it, really. That's the end of Get Rich or Die Cleaning. I hope it's been enjoyable for you and helpful. Hope you're all reaching your goal of becoming millionaires. And I hope me and Blake helped. And in all seriousness, I hope you never followed any of that advice, because it isn't real. It's not real financial advice. This is just a comedy show. And yeah, if you do the things that we said on the podcast, you'll go to prison or you'll lose all your money. So yeah, don't do anything that you hear. All right, we're off. Goodbye. Get Rich or Die Cleaning was an improvised comedy show produced and performed by Pete Langhelt, except for the celebrity questions element, which was written by Robert Mills. The music and sound effects were provided by Envato Elements.